I can't deny it. Loving you is what I'm made for. No point trying to fight it, no need to refuse. When your love is all I see, you never give up on me. You never give up on me. And though I let you down, time and time again, you came through for me. And now I see your love is the only thing that saves me, sets me free, makes me believe with more than all the gold and riches to be. I'm in love, and I ain't trying to hide it. It's from above, but it loves me from under my skin, from within, unrelenting.
All right, welcome back to the HGG podcast. This is Michael Morgan, and we've made it to episode 4. If you've been following or listening a little bit, we've had 3 previous episodes. The first episode was on the pillar of faith in your life. The second episode was on the pillar of family. The third episode was on the pillar of fitness. And today we have made ourselves to the pillar of finance. We've made our way to the pillar of finance. So what does that look like? Obviously, that does involve money. And they say that money, the love of money is the root of all evil. And so we're not trying to go there. We're trying to go to a completely different space, which is the treasure of your life. So treasure is a way cooler word than money, if you ask me. I know money in a number of languages. In Chinese, you say yuan. In Japanese, you say yen. In Espanol, you say dinero. And in Armenian, you say polk. And then there's like every language on the earth has a name for money, right? So what I'm hoping to uncover here is how your treasure and what your treasure is and your access to your treasure, how that fulfills you, how it inspires you, and how it nourishes you. One of the opposites of wealth is lack, and in not having access to things, resources, money, safety, Maslow's hierarchy of needs helps us like real quickly figure out that you can't survive long without just basic stuff. And that's not always money. People can have money, but they can go, spiral in a whole bunch of different directions. So treasure and what it is that fulfills, satisfies. Finance is the primary topic here. So before we get into the actual questions, what I'd like to ask the listeners or the audience today is, where is your treasure and what is your treasure? But before you answer what your treasure is, let's focus on where. So location is a state of mind, and where you are and is reflective of your own mindset, and vice versa. This is not like a dogmatic only one way works type of thing. So location equals state of mind. And the best example I can give from literature is the bard himself, William Shakespeare, does a great job of showing in his plays, hey, you know what? Hamlet's in a graveyard right now. And that is foreshadowing, of course, Hamlet's demise. And when he is in that graveyard, what's he thinking about? What's he surrounded by? Same type of thing can be said for for your life, for everybody's life. And that's where the saying, wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That was not Shakespeare, by the way. That was written in the language of Greek, and it does come from not the bard, but the Messiah, Jesus. And he gives that statement in the middle of his Sermon on the Mount. And it's a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. And it's a beautiful thing to share. Wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So let's dive into that. So the best treasure to have is not the treasure that can be stolen, not the treasure that can be corrupted, not the treasure that can be like wasted and kind of like turn your life horrible. But the best treasure is what is intangible, and it's not heavy, and it is heavenly, if you will. It's divine, and there's an understanding of divine things that they are not the same as earthly things. And when you have a treasure that is divine, that treasure cannot be lost, even though you and your life, your human existence may go through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But the eternal things, the immortal things, the substantial things, divinely, that make you who you are, those things are untouchable and unassailable. So, that's the best. That's the best that we can ask for. I think that's the best that we can seek after while we are here on this earth, doing whatever it is we are called to do. And our destinies and our purposes and our desires, those things are always connected to our treasure. So, how do you get far along enough in the journey where you're not worried about the tangible earthly treasure stuff, to be able to focus on the treasure, divine treasure? And sometimes where there's a trade-off, is there a trade-off? And do we sometimes compromise to try to make those trade-offs? Well, we'll try to unpack that. Every day on my tracker, again, this podcast came out of a decision that I made 4 weeks and 4 days ago, exactly, to track Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturdays and Sundays separately, but it all goes into the same system and point system. How to track my my wellness across 7 pillars. Well, in order for us to get to the financial pillar, we have to ask ourselves some questions that I tried not to make too constraining. The first question that I ask every day: did I complete my primary quote unquote deep work tasks that lead directly to revenue generation? So yes. This is not in completely theoretical, intangible wealth treasure here. This is discussing, and I am asking myself, did I do the work that leads to revenue generation? So, yep, that's a part of the world that we live in. Now, here's where things get complex in the world that we live in. Every single day for 4 weeks and 4 days, I have answered this question yes. Why? Because I have done the work that leads to revenue generation. Now, here's the second question. Well, actually, here's there's a correlative to that, which is quantitative data for finance. That is not the second question, so I'm gonna skip to that real quick. What was the total active or passive revenue generated or high value contract value secured today? So let me share with you my responses to that particular one for the last four 4 months, and then we'll do 4 days. All right, here we go. $2,000, $1,800, $4,000, $2,000, $2,000, $0 on one Saturday, one Sabbath day in week 1. But on Sunday, I made $2,000. Monday was $3,500. Tuesday is $2,500, then $2,200, then $2,500, then $50,000 on Friday of week 2. $1,200 on week 2 Saturday, and $12,000 on week 2 Sunday. Then I had $7,000 on that Monday, $5,000 on Tuesday. No money made on a Wednesday on week 3. But the next day I made $30,000, then $2,000, then $2,000, then $12,000, then $1,100, then $1,000, then $1,200, then $1,500, then $25,000 divided by 12, which comes out to $2,083. $1,500, and then the last Sunday of week 4 was $1,750. So that's 4 months of revenue generation according to the language in my sheet. Total active passive revenue generated or high value contract value secured today. Now here's the thing. I live in the United States of America, where revenue generation is incredibly important. Incredibly important. The reality is there's a lot tied up in money making and financial success and wealth. The reality, the actual dollar and cents reality of those numbers is not every one of those dollars went into my bank account. Some of those dollars were siphoned, some of those were split. Some of those should have been paid and were not paid. But the reality is that is all revenue that I generated every single day. Wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The treasure for me is not in the dollars that end up like mysteriously, powerfully, instantly popping into my bank accounts, which we all have attached to Zells and Venmos and Cash Apps and all this stuff. But if anyone's making this type of money cash on a day-to-day, I would love to meet those people, just to have a friendly conversation. But what I'm expressing to you here is that I did the deep work tasks that lead directly to revenue generation on every single one of those days. Did those things manifest in deep revenue generation, in direct revenue generation? No, they did not. Which gets to the second question. Did I utilize a system, AI tool, or delegation today to increase my long-term time freedom? Those answers are mostly yes, across the board. And I hope that you have systems that work for you, that do the same thing. Not everybody does. And thinking through those systems, processing through how that happens, could be really, really, really good to make sure that we are staying inflated and not deflated, and we're not leaking and we're not sinking. So, there's so many tools that we have today to increase long-term time freedom, because treasure is not just in the dollars and cents. Treasure is also in the actual time that is spent, or that is that is accessible for us. That's an important factor in all of this. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, how effectively did I manage my financial velocity? Income versus hours spent. Good question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how effectively did I manage my financial velocity? Income versus hours spent. I've got a couple 4s and 5s. I've got a 9.5. I really don't have any 10s, honestly. But I've got a lot of stuff on here. Got a lot of days filled out. And what I'm really hoping for is to continue to stay true to myself and to stay inspired, hopeful, nourished, and to manifest in my own life the 5 I am statements that I have, which are: I am methodical, consistent, settled, relentless, gratified. And if I am doing those things and I'm intentional about those, and I'm humble or meek enough to just do what needs to be done, then you know what? I think I'm going to be okay. And I think I'm going to feel wealthy, rich, financially. And I know I'm going to be financially okay. Not because of, I think I did do a little bit of math on those numbers. I think that math comes out to about $100,000 within 4 weeks, which is not bad, right? It's 25K weeks, which is pretty good. Some of that is real. And then some of that is going different places. But that is enough to make anybody feel comfortable financially. And that's good. It's a good feeling when you have that revenue coming in. I have a few little caveats here that I'm kind of reminding myself from. So I'm actually tracking like what I did on certain days, what tools I used, what AI tools, what frameworks I used, and it's kind of reminding me, oh yeah, I remember when I did that thing with the UI UX on this startup app that I have, and I'll like built the tech around that. That's so cool. That makes me feel rich. And this is my this podcast is supposed to represent my life. So I think I have the right to sing. If this were somebody else's podcast, I don't know how I'd feel, but this is a great track by an artist named Brian Courtney Wilson. And I'm just going to go for it because it makes me feel rich. You make me rich when I receive your grace, exceedingly abundantly, above all I could ask or think. You meet my need, my storehouse grows. Ooh, I have So much I could never give it all away. I am living in the overflow. That's good. My cup runs over, my cup runs over, over and over. My cup runs over, my cup runs over, my cup runs over. You make me rich when I receive your grace. Exceedingly abundantly above all I could ask or think, you meet my need. My storehouse grows. Well, I have so much I could never give it all away. I am living in the overflow. Wow. That's pretty good. So that's where I hope we all get. I hope we all can sing that song. I hope we can all share in that message and in feeling that way. I'm living in the overflow, and that's treasure. And when we have that treasure in us, it will show up in our environment. It will show up in our location. For some people, that looks like Manhattan, skyscrapers, Wall Street, all that. And I miss New York. I would love to, as a reward for finishing this podcast, I think I'm gonna go to New York. I don't know why I'm like making that as a promise to myself in this recording here, but I think I should, because it's been a long time since I've been there. I was in Boston not too long ago, but New York's a whole different everything, and I miss it. Shout out to the people who've known me on this journey. There's a lot of people who've known me in a lot of different stages of my life. Some have known me in more, unique stages than others. But, this is really for myself. It's not for like a massive audience. But I'm grateful for you if you do know me, and if you can appreciate some of these messages and things that I'm kind of putting out there. And if there's other people who vibe with this, then that's great, man. So that's a wrap. I think the last message that I'll give is wherever your treasure is. I was doing editing of these things in the beginning. So that first episode has a nice little musical intro and a musical outro. And it's a good track. I do have a track like that for this one. So am I going to take the time and energy and effort to bring that track in? We'll see. But if I don't, here's the song. Wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. There it is, there it is, there it is, my love. Wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. There it is, my love. Wasn't ever supposed to be here, according to the doctors, but Mom entertained angels and always stayed watchful. Confound the wisdom of this world, from actor to apostle, rob the devil of a funeral. I'm not talking Duval, though. Get it or we get low. That man is real thoughtful. We both got roots in Jesus, but we walk two different roads. So in being real, I'm not subtle about the gospel. Love everyone regardless, that's the true motto. I'm out to give gratitude for being raised out of the graveyard, broken like the woman in Nain's heart. all because I had the audacity to play parts other than the ones from me which were written. So ashamed of my past, I burned the whole manuscript. Guess you can call it Kindle. Let me sum up from start to end, though. Began in a limo, ended up in a limbo. As it all came crashing down, my sin hit a crescendo. That was before I heard the call of a sentinel. I let the old boy burn, now I'm something like brand new. Believe that anything is possible when you open spirit's window. Let soul tell the story, never have to worry. Step out in faith, let love lead the way. We love light and glory, gifts of pure grace. Let love tell your story and just get out of the way. Wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be also. There it is, there it is, there it is, my love.